Hey guys, how are we? Okay, today we're just going to go through a simple demonstration of making an oil from cannabis. What we're going to do is we're going to reclaim something that we've already done a spent run, which we've got here. So it's going to be along the lines of a Rick Simpson style product. And I'm going to show how easy it is to filter it and then run it through the weed witch here and then reclaim the alcohol, and then you're left behind with the oil. So what we'll do is we'll put this out of the way. Okay. Now this is going to be spent material that I'm going to be showing you here. This material had been run consecutively many times through a cold freeze. And I've depleted as much of the resin from the cannabis as much as possible. And the temperatures were around about -40. And then when the alcohol was clear and it looked like no resin was coming through, then I take it to this stage here, which we're going to do now. And it's going to be a very dark oil for topical use, like a Rick Simpson style. Or you can have it orally as well, or you can use it as a suppository. So here we go. This stuff here wouldn't be all that good for vaping because of the amount of chlorophyll that comes through it. If you want to remove the chlorophyll that's in it, use a carbon filter or winterize it through coffee filters in the freezer. So here we have it. These, with the weed witch, these filters come with the kit. And you can get these through any outlet like cash and carry or a restaurant outlet. Or you can order them through me. So here we have it. We have our filter. Okay, we're going to be pouring everything through here. So as you can see, the colour is very dark. I'll bring it over so you can see it. Extremely dark in colour. Along the lines of what an RSO would look like, or a Rick Simpson style oil. But what we're going to do is we're going to get as much of the alcohol back, and then we're going to put that in the weed witch, and we're going to cook it down. You're going to see how easy this is. Since that's going to take a while, hot. I'll let that sit in there. Now, another thing I'm going to explain as well. Your plant matter, like this here, if you kept that in the freezer and you kept running your alcohol through this plant matter, it's going to end up being like a filter. After a while, when you keep running it through there, all the lighter particles will get embedded, and it acts actually as a filter, believe it or not. So experiment with that. So that means just running your alcohol completely through it over and over again, and it does. It takes out a lot of the heavies, and then it starts to go down to the fine, especially if you're doing it in the chest freezer of around about a -12, -15. But anyway, just something you find out over time. Here we go. Well, we'll get this guy running. This is the witch herbal extractor. This is the still sitting on top. We're going to be pouring the remains of the product into here. I'll show you just how easy this is. No fumes, nothing. Everything's contained. Okay, we'll plug her in. Turn it on, and off we go. go. Make sure we've got water running through it. There we have it. The water's running through it. Probably takes around about 10 minutes to heat up. Just alerts you when you come up the tank. So we're at 70 degrees now. We're going to have the alarm set at about 140. Just let us know when it hits at 140. Alarm going off. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to wait till this heats up. Alcohol goes off at 172, so that's what we're going to be waiting for. 172 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's the vaping of alcohol. What we're going to do, because we've only got a small amount of alcohol in here, normally if you wanted to activate all that oil in there, I would run it for at least an hour, hour and a half at 172. And then you will turn the THCA into a THC, or a psychoactive product. So that's really about it. So because we've got a small amount here, I would end up turning my tap off and letting it recycle the alcohol in there and then cooking it for that hour, hour and a half. But today we haven't got that time, so we're just going to run it straight out. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do too, as this will be going, we're going to be going through a critical freeze. So, just to let you know, everything's going to be cooling down in here, and I'm using liquid nitrogen. Now, for you guys, you don't have to use the liquid nitrogen. You can just use dry ice, or you can just use a normal chest freezer that comes down to -12. The reason I'm using the liquid nitrogen today, it just allows me to travel lightly and cool everything down in an ice freezer, or an esky, which you call a portable little igloo. But anyway, so there we have it. Okay, we're up to 74 degrees and it's coming up now, so this will take about another 5 minutes to come up to 10. The amount of water that I have running through this, that's a little too much. We can turn that way down. This is very, very efficient. So there we have it. I have that amount of water coming out. And what it's doing is cooling down the coils in here and cooling down the wood condenser. So the water comes through here, cools this area down, and the water comes up, heats the coils, cools the coils down, which knocks down the vapor back into a liquid, where the liquid leaves here. So there we have it. Yeah, so the most important thing is not to throw away your waste. So as I was saying before, when you're finished doing a cold extraction, don't throw that material away. Just save it in a bag, or let it sit in alcohol for a few hours or 24 hours. And then you can break it down into this and then put it in your edibles or your topicals for your skin. Yep, so don't waste nothing. Don't waste anything. Okay, let's go through an extraction with using the liquid nitrogen. So what I've been using, just to make life easier, I've been using these coffee percolators. So I've been trying them out for a number of months now, about 3 or 4 months, and just checking them out. Before I bring anything to market, I'd like to keep using it over and over again for at least 6 months. So these are turning out quite well. What I like about these is It's a double core, meaning that you have 2 cores of stainless steel, so it's good for freezing stuff. So basically the outer core and the inner core gives you a bit more leverage and time to freeze things or to play with the material inside. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm going to be putting some liquid nitrogen in here, keep everything cold. Again, like I said, you don't need to do this, you just have to have good features. So now I'm putting my plant material in here. This one here is a Pakistan. It's a land raised Pakistan or Paki. Okay, so the material that I've ground up, it's because I do a full plant extraction, meaning that I have the roots, the stems, the leaf, I have everything. I do not waste nothing. So the full plant extraction is I think far superior than just chopping the bud off and getting the oil from the bud. I get the whole plant. So anyway, so I'm pouring material into these containers. And this is only for demonstration purposes, so I'm not using all that much. This is just to show you. So we can see here, you probably can't see from there, but I've got roughly about that much material in there, which would mean, I would say, there's probably a good ounce, maybe more. Actually, be a lot more. Okay, so we have that there. Now we're going to cool down the alcohol. I'm going to keep this plant material cold, like you would keep it in a fridge or a freezer. Okay, here's my alcohol. I'm going to take my alcohol temperature to very low. So what I'm doing, this is the alcohol in here, I have liquid nitrogen in there. So you're going to be seeing a lot of activity soon. So I'm freezing my alcohol. And you're probably asking, why am I doing this? The reason I'm cooling down my alcohol like this is because I don't have a freezer. And this is just showing you for demonstration purposes that taking the alcohol to a colder temperature gives you a better extraction or a cleaner extraction. And the reason that is the colder the extraction or the colder the alcohol and the plant material, you're locking up the chlorophyll, you're locking up the waxes, you're locking up the plant material. So that doesn't come over. So that's why you're getting a much more translucent oil or alcohol. Very goldish color. And when you're rendering that down, it's going to come out to a nice color. Taffy with maybe a bit of reddish, maybe a goldish deep tan. Totally different to BHO and CO2. I think that's going to be enough for now. And always wear gloves when you're going down to these cold temperatures as well. The temperature of that here now, well, alcohol freezes at 172, and the alcohol in here is frozen. So I would say we're definitely the 172. And I can show you this here. So there we have it. That's the liquid nitrogen that you see active there, but you'll see the alcohol, it's frozen solid. A little bit more alcohol in here to loosen it up. Should be enough. So a good temperature for alcohol and the plant material, I would say if you can get your temperatures to around the -25, great. As long as you're getting it over the -10s, you're going to be pretty safe. You're going to get a little bit of green color coming through, but that's going to be quite alright. The green color, the chlorophyll, will stop at around about the -20s, and then from then on to -40, you've got just a lot more playing time to keep the color gold. From 40 onwards, just experiment. But the colder you do go, it just allows you a lot more time to play with the plant material. Okay. So there we have it. And another thing we're doing is well common sense. Smoking. No smoking. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we have our alcohol coming out, as you can see. Our temperature is at 174, and I forgot to turn the alarm on. That's why the alarm never went off. There we have it. It's at 174, and we are now recapturing our alcohol. Like before, you saw the alcohol that was green or greenish black from this material. We put it in here, it's heated up, we're turning that alcohol to a vapor, coming through here, it's cooling down by the coils, and then coming out here. And what we have is very strong alcohol with a little bit of cannabis flavor that is coming out clear. So there we have it. So we'll keep that running for a good 20 minutes until it empties itself, and then I'll show you the oil in there, what we have. Okay, going back to the cold alcohol. It's now, you can see a little bit of ice there. Temperatures now, me looking at this being very thick, I would say we're in the good 65s to 75s. Okay, we'll grab our plant material. And the kit of the Weed Witch as well comes with tubes. It's exactly the same thing. The tubes gives you a little bit more playing time when you're inside the chest freezer. I'm only just using this for convenience to show you guys. So all I'm doing is I'm covering the alcohol, pouring it in. You don't have to use all that much alcohol, just enough as long as it's covering the plant material. Have it. And this is very crude what I'm doing here. I would normally do this if I was making oil. I'm just doing this for showing you how easy it is done. When you're doing this in your chest freezer, you're limiting the chlorophyll by keeping out the air, and keeping out temperatures and whatnot. So there we have it. We have got the alcohol now homogenizing with the plant material, still keeping it cold. I'm now going to put some liquid nitrogen in here to keep my temperatures there. You'll probably hear that. So there we have it. I'll put that back in the freezer, and I will keep it there. I'll shake it every now and again for the next 5 minutes, and then I will be emptying that into a container, which I'll show you. We're going to get some more alcohol to the next one. the nitrogen in there. So as you can see, it's very simple. This is you're capturing all your alcohol. There is no fumes in here. We're in a lab here. Next door to the lab is where we do all the testing for cannabis, for the potency, for mold. Yep, all next door. Usually I do test some of the materials that we do, but today we're not doing any testing of the cannabis. We're just going to do a couple of extractions and then that's it today. So there we have it. We have our alcohol again. As you can see here, it's freezing. And how long does it take to empty this gallon of alcohol out of here? It would take you roughly around about an hour and a half. If you turn it back, again, it's going to take longer. So the good thing about this, you can turn this down or turn this up to produce to increase the amount of alcohol leaving the still. So you can go all the way from a gallon and a half an hour, all the way down to virtually drip. And I preferably to do that towards the end of the run, which I'll show you in another video. Okay, so we see here, it's starting to loosen up a little bit. So I'll get the other plant material. We have it. This is the empty plant material in here. Plant material's up to there. I usually take my alcohol just about an inch past that. We can stir that in. We have a spoon handy. And the colder you go, the more interaction you need with the plant material. Because it takes so much longer for the alcohol to remove all the resins that are tied up. So yeah, the colder things are, the slower things move. Or the slower things undo. So I don't need to check my temperatures because I've learned over the time that when I see that syrup look, it's a very broad, slowy, thick alcohol. That gives me an indication that I'm around about -85. So I'm in a safe place, especially outside of the freezer box. Put that in here. This was our first one. Having a look at it. And I'll put more alcohol in here. So we'll just let them continue going for a while, another few minutes. So there we have it. We've got our alcohol coming out. Just cleaning the container here. It's always a good thing too, when you're having your alcohol coming out, the good thing is before you pour the alcohol in here with your container, always make sure that you measure the container. So just imagine if you had half a gallon in here, before you pour it in, mark it where the level is. So when you pour it in and it is coming out, when you get close to this halfway level, you know that you're going to turn it off or put it on barrel. Because that's another thing with this as well. That, when you're doing a good quality oil, you want to use the variable switch here because you want to turn down the wattage in the pot so you're not going to burn the oil. A good 100 watts is is enough energy to bring off the alcohol at the very end and to slowly render down that oil without burning. And you keep a lot of your profiles too. You keep your terpenes and things like that, which is beneficial for the smoke. So there we have it. It's coming out. I'll just explain to you why this is running. Next door is the testing lab. The testing lab here is integrity testing. So if you guys are wanting any stuff to get tested for your potency of your flour or your concentrates or whatever it may be, they do all the testing here. So, and that's integrity testing. And I don't have the number. Just look it up on Google. And again, this class is open on Tuesdays as well, between the hours of 1 and 3. So, we don't teach, we share. I don't teach anyway, Peter does. I just do some sharing. So it's coming out. Here we have it. So now I'll get this ready and we'll pour some of this Absolute. See what color we have. Now when I explain to you how I do my extractions, I always say when I'm using new alcohol, it's a rum, and then every time that I'm running alcohol through it, I call that a pull. Either me running the alcohol through it once, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I just always take note and record what I'm doing. It just allows me to make a better oil. To find out if I come across something that didn't turn out well, I've got a history or a track record of what I've done. So, which is very important. It allows you to get a scope of your extraction method and allows you to look back at it and see where you can improve. So here we go. Okay. So we've got our plant material in here and our alcohol. Okay. And I'm just putting down the percolator here. And then what we're going to do is we're just now going to pour out the alcohol. And you're going to see the colour coming out. And it's going to be very, very light in colour. The reason being it's light in colour, again, because of the temperatures we've taken this to. And I don't know if you can see this too close, but it's coming out as a very gold colour. Again, this is all crude what I'm doing, but it's just going to show you I can do this outside of a freezer box. So you should be able to do it inside of a freezer box. Okay, so that's the first amount of alcohol coming out. That's the first one. second one. Smells very nice. Again, this one was a lot colder than the last one, and this came out a lot clear. So it just goes to show you that colder you do get things, yes, the cleaner the extraction. So there we go, it's all temperature, all temperature. So I'm going to keep these cold. I'm going to cool down some alcohol. So after doing that I class as the first run, one and the first pull. So I did one pull off each of it in the first run. So I'm going to put this alcohol back in here where it's cold. And then we're going to refill these guys again, which will be our second run. So let's cool down the alcohol again. Pour some into nitrogen. There we have it. I'll put that in the box for a tip. Let that cool down just for a tad, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put that back into the French press, both of the French press. And then that's going to be our second run, and we're going to do one pull on it. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do there. So we still have our alcohol coming out, so it looks like we're getting close to the end. Yes, we're about halfway there. The good thing about this as well is we have columns that come with this unit, and if you don't want to put your plant material in here, you can put it in the columns, and you can put your still on that and run your alcohol through the plant material that way, which will give you a cleaner product again. It won't be so much chlorophyll. But for those that want to do large sums of plant material in a Rick Simpson style, you can just fill this up with alcohol, put your plant material in there. Easily this will hold over a pound of plant material, and then cook it for about an hour, and then do what I did before is grab all of it, put it through your coffee filter, let the alcohol drain out, make sure the container's clean inside, pour all your material back in, or your liquid, and just do it what I'm doing now. I'm just whacking off the alcohol, and you have a thick oil at the end of it. Very simple. You're not using any fans, blowing any flammable material anywhere. It's all contained. So simple. So simple. Okay, so we'll see if the alcohol's cold. Okay, it's cold enough. Okay, so what we're going to do, we have our unit here. Alcohol's going in. Full smoke. The next one. The alcohol's going down. again, like before, you want to try and stir everything around. And make sure when you're using all the utensils like spoons and everything, don't do as I did then. Make sure everything is kept at the temperature that you're using everything at. So if it's minus 20, everything has to be at minus 20. It should be in that freezer box. There you have it. A little more alcohol. More alcohol. And I'm just going to level these guys out. There we have it. Alcohol is exhausted. Put these guys back. Again, we'll let that sit for about another 5 minutes, and then I'll show you what I'll do next. This is continuing. Temperature is still at 174. And the amount of water coming out is that amount. I always check it. You can check it by the amount coming out and by the temperature coming out. So if it's too cold, using too much water. If it's too warm, using not enough water. Just have it lukewarm. Oh yeah, and once I finish with the plant material, which is here, extract everything out of it, like all your alcohol. And you can do this in any way. You can use either a salad spinner, whatever you want to do, because there is still at least a half a cup of alcohol left in there. Believe it or not, it doesn't look at the, there is a good half a cup of alcohol left in there. So if you want to extract that, that's what you need to do. A centrifuge, something that can spin, that will throw out the alcohol, or just let it sit in the fridge for a period of time, like 24 hours. And then once you've done that, this is all spent. So you can do what you want to do. You can put it back in the compost, whatever it may be. And if you want to use it back into your next plantation for next year, that alcohol you can definitely evaporate completely out of that plant material, so it's not going to hurt you putting this into your compost. That's the good thing about using stuff. That's the great thing about using alcohol. It doesn't leave any residue behind, like BHO. So we'll check out our second run. This is our second run, first pull. Material from before. So this is our second run, first pull. Go again. Still a nice, very see-through, slightly yellowy tinge. Very beautiful. As you can see, it's coming out quite thick, so you know you're definitely over the 80s, minus 80, and dropping very quickly, being in this temperature. So there we go, we've got that. Okay, this is the next one. beautiful color coming out with a slight tinge of gold. Okay, so that's the second run, first pull. What I'm going to show you now is we're going to cool everything down again, and that alcohol we're going to reuse. Okay, so I'm going to get some liquid nitrogen. I'm going to cool everything down, super cold. Down. What we're going to do, so on that second run, we're going to now reuse that alcohol. So all that alcohol that we poured into that little container, we're going to pour that alcohol back in with the plant material, and we're going to stir it up again. So that means it's going to be the second run, but we're going to do the second pull, meaning that we're going to use that alcohol over again. So we're going to concentrate the cannabinoids that were removed into a smaller part of the alcohol. So what we're doing is we're folding it, we're concentrating the alcohol down into a more of a concentrated state. So when we get to a part where we're doing our filterization and mixerization, you're not using so much alcohol, and you're not spending so much time to have the product run through a filter. So yeah, so what we're doing is we're packing a lot more cannabinoids or resins into a smaller amount of alcohol. And again, doing it this way, you can get in a little bit of trouble because doing it out in this environment is a no-no. You can just waste your money. You need to really keep it into a box where it's very cold. So when you're using same alcohol over and over again, you're opening up the plant material to the air, and you can lose it by chlorophyll being exposed and undoing the alcohol. So just keep an eye on it. But I can do these runs for, depending on the fridge that I'm using, but I can do about 20. Let me see. I can do quite a few runs off the one bit of alcohol, running it through the plant material about 7 times, and we've got a very dark concentrated oil. A small amount of alcohol, and and then again it gives you the opportunity to vapor that off in low temperature.